Hello, welcome to the Taydow Show, a show all about conversation, all about inspiration, entertainment. And without further ado, let's begin. All right, we're gonna start with that is our first segment. I mean, the Department of Basic Education is talking about, they're in conversation, guys, about having unisex bathrooms in schools. I'm talking about South Africa. I'm not talking about other countries. I'm talking about South Africa, guys, where we still have children that do not have toilets, proper toilets. We still have a high at a rate of teenage pregnancy. We have high gender-based violence issues, guys, for us to be worrying about unisex bathrooms. I'm just gonna say, Hasimo State, guys. Like, we've got problems, and our problems are not first world problems. I think we need to deal with certain things. Our schooling system needs so much work for us to be discussing unisex bathrooms. I don't know, maybe it's just me, maybe I'm not progressive enough, maybe I'm just not evolving enough, but that's just like, for me, that was just like, did that just please drop a comment just to say how you feel about it and what do you see, or if there are any complaints or compliments towards the basic Department of Education. Department of Basic Education. Right, our next story is about pit bulls, guys. We know about pit bulls. We know the whole situation about pit bulls that have been a problem, that have started to be a problem. And so, okay, if you don't know the backstory around it, in South Africa, we are experiencing problems. Like, in 2 months, I think there are 2 deaths of children that were attacked and killed by pit bulls, right? And those pit bulls are obviously, the other story, I think the recent story was that the pit bull just literally just went above the I think the parameters or the restrictions that they had, whether it's a gate or whatever, and just attacked the child that was playing, So the conversation is obviously around, should pit bulls be banned? Should pit bulls not be treated as domestic animals? And as you know, I knew nothing about pit bulls and the whole situation and their breed and all those things. I just knew they were pit bulls from Ikasi because I grew up seeing pit bulls. I grew up people walking around with pit bulls. And I kid you not, that used to be one of the things that used to scare me. Like, how people make us uncomfortable when they are walking with their pit bulls, and it would look as if the pit bull is the one that is controlling the owner. They are unable to actually hold back, and that used to be something that used to scare me. So anyway, there's a debate going around, obviously, regarding pit bulls, and there are people that are just like, yay to pit bulls. If they're trained properly, they're not going to be harmful to society. It depends on who's the owner, and carelessness and recklessness. But I just feel like, if now they're getting to a point, guys, where people are being ravaged by pit bulls, and I just saw so many videos of pit bulls tearing up corrugated iron, guys, tearing up trees and just eating up trees to like nothing. For me, I don't think there's domestic animalish around there, guys. Those things are savages, and I just, people were saying that, these peoples need to be nurtured. They need attention, they need affection. They don't have to be neglected, and their owners neglect them for hours, and they need special care. And I'm just like, truthfully, how many people that own pit bulls do that? Because in where I grew up, Ekasi, I would see pit bulls just being left. You understand? And people would just do their own thing, just leave them, and apparently they need to be set free and not be on a leash, and all of those things, those conditions that are so sensitive towards a pit bull and the ownership thereof. And owners need to be available for a pit bull. People, apparently it changes its mood, and sometimes even you as an owner, that's why it attacks owners as well, because sometimes if it's not used to you a certain way, maybe one day you come home drunk and it does not recognize you, it can literally attack you. So for me, that was just like, oh, angry, aggressive were the names that were just thrown out in the conversation around pit bulls. And I understand owners, I understand people that I don't know, that have love for animals and stuff like that. I think certain conversations should we should read the room. The reason I'm saying that is now there are people trending, right? Hungani, for example, is trending because he just made an example. I think he wanted to run it around the fact that people are blaming the pit bulls and not the owners of the pit bull. And I know it didn't do the things that it was supposed to do. That example number one in J is just not comparing. Yeah, it's just a comparison that is just off, according to me. Like, and shame, man, people attacked him so much. And I like Uhungane, I like his family, but this time I think he should have just taken it down. And I'm not sure if he took it down by the time I recorded this, but it stayed a full day where he was just like, I said what I said. And for me, that was just like, man, number one, just this week, a parent lost someone due to pit bulls. You a new parent as well. There was supposed to be at least some kicking in, of empathy and being like, you know what, I'll discuss this another time, but not this time. And maybe he was overtook by emotion, but but you know what? Let's forgive him. Let's give him grace, because even the tweets, everyone was just like, "That is so disappointing from you." That tells us that he's not really a person of a bad character. It was just like a moment, and we just need to extend grace. So, but yeah, did that just. I don't even want to go into the many things that happened in this week, guys, when it comes to people being exposed, marriages, and all of those things. I think this is a season of exposure, guys. There's something that is just digging up, and people are just being exposed left, right, and center. And I'm just worried. What if I'm next? Oh. Second installment is Izimemezelo. So this week, shameless plug, guys. I'm just gonna start. Daily planners. I hope you can see them. I hope you can see it. So this is inspired by an intentional life. So I've designed daily planners, and I am selling them. And inside you have, okay, this one is mine. So because the other ones have been sold out. So I'll just go to a page where it's not used. So as you can see, it's a daily planner that will let you know. You can just write the days of the week. You can just look at it, and then I'll just maybe post something, or even go to my Instagram if you like to see more of the planner. But this is essentially how it looks, and it is it is a 90-day planner, so 3 months, but I've made 100 pages, so it would actually go further than that. And sometimes people use it Monday to Friday. They don't use it Saturday and Sunday because they just make them like freestyle days, But it is inspired around intentional life. It is inspired around having to just, have plan. We know that yes, we can make plans, but God is the one that directs our steps. But at the same time, we cannot just wake up and just be like, I don't know what I'm going to do with this time. So just for us to be intentional with our time, with our resources, it is actually inspired by Psalm 90 verse 12. It speaks about the brevity of life, actually. So each and every time we may be aware that time is essential. It's one of those commodities that you cannot replace. Excuse me. There are things that you can lose and gain, money and all of those things, but time, guys, time flies. You can never be 29 again in 3 years time. You can never, like, it's just one of those things that keep going. So yeah, it is inspired around that. So as you can see, I've been using mine. There were days where I've been passing, there were days where I've been failing, and Yeah, ever since J, I've just been, and it's been my accountability partner. I love it so much. And there are days where I would write, and journal, because there is a space where you need to put your gratitude and your reflection of the day. It helps you to actually not just be on the go, go, go. Yes, you tick it off that you've done it, but at the same time, when you sit down at the end of each night, have like a moment of gratitude, have a moment of reflection. And if you need to jot down and journal, there's a space for that, to be like, yo, today did a number on me, but today I've learned this, I've reflected on this, so yeah, that is it. It's a daily planner, and then it comes with 4 highlighters. Yeah, if you want to know how those highlighters work, you can go to my Instagram as well, because there's a place where you highlight your done, your delay. Let me make an example, actually. Sorry, I'll just show you. So yeah, so there, done, delay, stuck, cancel. Then you can just highlight, and then each and everything that you've done, obviously you will highlight in orange. Where you have a delay, you can just mark it there and just say it's delayed. Then you can do it tomorrow. One that is cancelled, obviously something that you did not do. If you did not gym, baby, you said you're gonna gym today, and you used to gymming maybe 5 times a week, you can't say delay, because the next day has its own day allocated, so you have to cancel it. So it's got a lot of those, whether it's cancellation of meetings and stuff. There's also a part where you can write down who to call, who to email. Well, for me, I also write there who to pray for, because I forget sometimes, but I'm one person who hears people out. After hearing them out, I actually pray for them. So I write that on my who to call or to email. And yeah, water intake, the weather, the mood. We know, especially for us women, there are times where it's raining, number 1. Number 2, you are PMSing, so it gives you a little view of your moods and how you can't accomplish certain things. And then you will actually, as you reflect and you get to certain spaces and you just look over your pages, you'll realize, oh, okay, so usually 2 days before my periods, I get into this mood. That's why I'm unable to do this and do that and do that, So sometimes we are hard on ourselves until you look at your book and be like, no, but this day, like this whole week, it was actually raining. Number 2, I received bad news. Number 3, I was on my periods, For a man, maybe it was like number 1, at work, or my girlfriend didn't, or my wife did, So that keeps you accountable. That makes you actually even be forgiving of yourself, because you can see that it's actually conditions. It's not that I lacked discipline. So as you can tell, guys, I'm very passionate about this. So it's a daily planner, and then it comes with 4 highlighters, ne? And then it is sticky notes. As you can see, I've been using them. So yeah, but it's like this big. And then you get a pen, and then also a bookmark. I cannot find my bookmark. Yeah, so you get a pen, a bookmark as well. So yeah, and it is 235 Rand, and also covers delivery. So with that 235, you get the planner, you get the highlighters, you get the sticky notes, you get the pen, you get the delivery. And yeah, I think it's all over South Africa, and maybe where there's Paxi, Paxi. So there's 2 options, obviously. There's Korea, and there's Paxi for people that just don't mind fetching it via Paxi. So yeah, shameless plug. So I'm the one that sells it, I'm the one that designed it, inspired by the verse, and yeah, and inspired by just being intentional with my time, with my life, and just doing away with mediocrity, yeah. So that's all with Izimemezelo. Lastly, we are going to talk about ships. Last week we spoke briefly about accountability. Actually, we didn't speak about it. I asked you guys, what is your understanding of accountability, and what do you think if someone is accountable for their actions? How do you see them, So anyway, for me, accountability is actually someone just recognizing that they've done you wrong, or they've done something that they were responsible for and they actually didn't do it, and they are aware that they didn't do it and they need to rectify it. Taking accountability is so important in our lives, especially in a life that, especially in the generation where we are people that are actually aware, if I could put it that way, self-aware, aware of our emotions, trying to do better, trying to do the work. We are not that generation that's just like toughen up. This is life. This is, we are a generation that is actually realizing that we need to say sorry. We are a generation that is understanding that, okay, I need to see the role or the part that I've played and why do I get myself in these conditions, stuff like that. So in this instance, for example, with Hungani, I'll make an example. For me, I actually feel like he should have been accountable and been like, you know what, guys, this is a careless statement that I've made, and I am understanding, especially having accountability partners. It's one thing to actually post something, and then 2 hours later, when someone calls you out, for you to actually reflect and be like, yeah, nah, no, and then take it down and actually express that, okay, guys, I've done this and I can see where I've maybe I fell short, in terms of how I saw it or how you would perceive what I'm saying. So I would like to apologize for being insensitive. I'd like to apologize for not reading the room. I'd like to take accountability of what I've said, and I'm realizing that I cannot compare this and this, because it looks like I hear you are saying you apologize. For me, let's say, for example, someone has done me wrong, for them to say, I actually hear that you've done me wrong, and I take account to the feelings, that I've made you 1, 2, 3, and also I want to see the pattern and the thought or the thinking behind what I said and how I said it, So I think for me, that's that. Even for Hungani, you could have just said the thinking around it was flooded by emotion. It was not logic at all. It was emotion. It was my love for animals, and I could have worded it better, or I could have just kept quiet, or could have just not involved myself in this. I was watching something, and this person was making an example about, even at work, he was making an example that if I give you a responsibility as a boss, and I give you a responsibility that you are hired to clean, you are hired to clean, for example. And yes, you do your job, that is your responsibility to clean, right? And then you do your job, fine. Then there's a day where you come in and you plug in the vacuum cleaner and it just goes into flames, right? And then I come and I see there's a mess, and I come to you and I'm like, is your responsibility not to clean? And this person would say, yeah, it is to clean, but the vacuum cleaner just burst and it was into flames, and so I couldn't clean. So my responsibility is to clean. However, if you are someone that takes accountability, you were supposed to understand that if this thing went into flames, I could have contacted facilities, I could have contacted or reported that this is the reason why I am unable to clean. I know I'm supposed to be cleaning, but this and this are the barriers that make me not be able to actually do what I'm supposed to do. That is taking accountability. But for you to say, Mina, the vacuum cleaner is not working, I just plugged it and it's not, so that's not my baby, that is not taking accountability. So I just realized how much how broad it is, how broad accountability is, and how difficult it is for some people. I think, and there's also someone that said that accountability is for people that actually want to do better. If you want to do better, you actually want people to put up that mirror in front of you and call you out on the things that you are not doing right. That's why it's important to have a good circle around you, accountability partners. Even though having accountability partners does not mean that they are the ones responsible to take account, but the fact that they are there to be like, hold up, you just did this, please take it down, or you did this, you know what, this is not going to be good, for you to be able to say, oh, okay, I hear you, I see you, I'm taking it down. Okay, I hear you, I shouldn't have said it like that. That is, you know, that is something. That's why it's good to have a good circle and accountability partners around you, just for them to call you out, just for them to actually show you it's okay for you to actually go through certain things. And other people who have more wisdom, or other people that see outside of the emotions and all the things that go on in your head, that can actually be outside of it and be like, hey, outside looking in, it does not look good, my friend. So rather do this and do this, because we all make mistakes, and because we all do things that are emotionally based, that are this, that are that, that are that. So it's good to have someone that is outside and be like, hey, nah, you know. So I think that's the importance of having accountability partners. And yeah, if you are committed to growth, it is easy for you to take account. It is easy for you to actually swallow your pride and be humble, because I think that's what it takes as well, to remove the victimhood and victim mentality. Because people will be there are people that will have every excuse in the world but will not point back to self. It's because of this, it's because of that, it's because of that. It's because they are escaping accountability, that everything that happens in their life has to point to somewhere else and not to themselves, or the choices that they've made, or things that they've led them to do those things, or even forgiving, you know, for them to be free. So yeah, that is accountability. That is accountability for me in relationships. That is accountability for me in life. And I'm just seeing how important it is, especially for someone that aspires to grow and aspires to just be a better person, emotionally and every other aspect, and mentally as well, you know. So yeah, that is just a segment about ships. So anyway, guys, thank you for joining me today, and thank you for watching. Please comment, please like for interaction, please subscribe. And that is all for me today. May you have a great weekend, and I love you. Bye.